Welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level language arts lesson. We're in Unit 10, Lesson 2, and we're going to be talking about context clues. So what do you usually do when you see or hear a new word? Well, we'll look at what these students say. Ruben says, I check the word in a dictionary. Nico says, I try to work out the meaning using my knowledge of affixes and word families. Maria says, I usually ask someone, like a friend or a teacher. And Barney says, I just ignore it and keep going. So an effective way to deal with new words is to use context. So this means looking at the words that come in before and after the word that you don't know. And here's the definition. Context is a noun. The words that come just before and after a word, phrase, or statement and help you to understand its meaning. So we're going to read the text and answer the questions. And notice that Uggy isn't a real word. You can pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. And if you're reading on your own, one thing I want to point out, there is a mistake here. The word and does not belong in that sentence. Okay. One day, Kukert decided to clean his room. He picked up all his things and started putting them back in the closet. As he looked more closely, he noticed something ugly on the floor. Ooh, Cookert said, it's all ugly. He ran to the bathroom and grabbed a towel. So what do you think ugly means based on this story? And why? And what part of speech, noun, adjective, verb, adverb, do you think ugly is? And explain your answer. So ugly probably means dirty or gross or messy. There's something under the on the floor that's been spilled and is just dirty and gross. Just because he says ooh, which suggests that he's disgusted, and then he grabs a towel, so suggests that it's something that needs to be cleaned up. And then uggy, as it's used, would be an adjective because we've got a word that's followed. So it's is short for it is the to be verb. And often when you have a pronoun, a to be verb, and then another word, the word is an adjective describing the pronoun, the subject pronoun. All right, so in this lesson, we're going to look at 5 different types of context clues. So first, match these 5 words to the definition. You can pause the video, try that on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check the answers. Okay, a word or phrase that means the opposite of another, that is antonym. A thing that is typical or of or represents a particular group or idea, that would be an example. An explanation of the meaning of a word or phrase is definition. A word or phrase with the same or similar meaning as another, that is synonym. And something that you can find out indirectly from what you know is inference. So sometimes the definition of a word will be given in the text. So special punctuation is often used when definitions are given in the text, such as a dash or a comma. So here's some examples. When Lisa went camping for the first time, she learned how to make an uggy, a type of shelter made of branches and leaves. It kept her dry during the rain. And again, remember that uggy is just a made-up word, but they're using it to give examples of how definitions are given in after the word. So we have the dash here, and so in this context, they're saying that an uggy is a type of shelter. So this is the definition of the word uggy in this context. I had the opportunity to play uggy, a traditional team sport, using a bat and ball while we were staying in Europe. So here, uggy is the game, the name of the game. And in both of these situations, the word ugly is a noun. And you can tell that here by the use of an, the article, and ugly, and then to play ugly. So here it's a noun. It's the direct object of the infinitive to play. Another way to work out the meanings of an unknown word is to look for synonyms in the text. So writers often prefer not to use the same word repeatedly in their writing. This means that a synonym for an unknown word might be close by. So here the example. Sarah felt ugly as she looked out the window. Weather like this always made her so sad. So in this context, we would assume that ugly means sad. I try to ugly for about half an hour every day. I find that if I exercise regularly, I feel better and I sleep better. So here it's suggesting that ugly is a type of exercise. And the part of speech, here ugly would be an adjective. And in this one, it would be a verb. Okay, and you can also guess the meaning of unknown words by using antonyms, words with the opposite meaning. So antonyms may be signaled by the use of contrast words such as but, however, on the other hand, or although. So the chocolate cake looked truly ugly, but when I took a bite, it was really disgusting. So here, ugly probably means very good. It looked like it was going to be good, but when they took a bite, it didn't taste good at all. So here it's the opposite meaning. And well, I think we should meet tomorrow. What do you think? Asked Lorenzo. Almost everyone agreed. However, Barry agreed. So here, almost everyone agreed, but Barry is doing the opposite, so he is disagreeing. So here, agreed means to disagree. Um, so what part of speech? Here, ugly is probably an adjective because well, it could be an adverb because it's explaining how the cake looked, and then ugly here would be a verb. And then what contrast words are used in the examples? So disgusting and agreed. All right, so we're going to do some practice. Look at the sentences below and answer the questions for each. And you can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, I listened to the song, and while the music was upbeat and energetic, the lyrics were very ugly. It was a strange combination. So here, ugly is probably the opposite of upbeat and energetic. So maybe the lyrics were dark and depressing. Um, and the part of speech would be an adjective because it's explaining the lyrics or describing lyrics, which is a noun. And it would be an antonym of upbeat and energetic because we can see that for the statement that follows, it was a strange combination. So the combination of upbeat and energetic suggests that ugly is the opposite of that. Okay, when I was 8 years old, my grandmother helped me to make an uggy, a type of scarf that wraps around your neck twice, and I still have it now. So here, uggy is defined. It's in the sentence. An uggy is a type of scarf that wraps around your neck twice. It's a noun in this sentence, and as we said, there's the definition included in the sentence. The task was quite ugly. It was challenging and took a lot of effort to finish. So here, ugly would be an adjective describing the task, and challenging and took a lot of time to finish. Again, that's would be like a synonym or a definition. Billy likes to Uggy in his free time. Sometimes he cooks for himself, and sometimes he cooks for his whole family. So here, Uggy is cooking, is a synonym for cooking, and it would be a noun. Everyone else said that the movie was interesting, but Tanya thought it was just Uggy. So here, Uggy would be probably boring. See, it was the antonym of interesting, and it's used as an adjective. And we can tell that it's an antonym because of the word but. So everyone else said that the movie was interesting. The word but suggests that Tanya had a different point of view. And during the field trip to the farm, the farmer showed us an uggy, a tool used for digging small holes. So here, an uggy is a tool used for digging small holes. So we've got the definition right there in the sentence, and it is a noun. So in some cases, there will be examples given of an unknown word in a text that can be used to work out its meaning. Considering what group each example could belong to is a good way of working out the meaning of the unknown word. So the students' homework task was to write about their favorite Uggies. Some wrote about cats, some wrote about rabbits, and some even wrote about elephants. So here, Uggy probably means what is their favorite type of animal, because cats, rabbits, and elephants are all animals. And here it would be used as a noun. Um, and we can tell that because we have a prepositional phrase here, and it would be the object of the preposition about. And then Pablo needed to get some Uggies. On his shopping list, he wrote carrots, lettuce, cabbage, and broccoli. So here, Uggy is probably a type of vegetable or vegetables. Um, and we can work that out because this list of things that he wrote down, these are all vegetables, so that's what they have in common. So an Uggy would be these would be the definition of an Uggy. And here it's also Uggy is used as a noun. So the last type of context clue that we'll look at is inferences. This means making a logical guess from the information we have. If we don't have a definition, synonym, antonym, or example, we can guess meaning of unknown words by looking at what we do know. So it was nearly time to leave. Juan put on his coat and picked up his umbrella. According to the forecast, it was going to be an ugly day. So here, ugly probably means rainy, and we can figure that out because he put on a coat and took an umbrella and talks about the weather forecast. So all of those things together can lead us to infer that ugly means rainy. And the part of speech would be an adjective because it's defining or describing the word day, which is a noun. So when you are angry, you cannot think clearly. To avoid making ugly decisions, you should wait until you have calmed down. So here, ugly probably means something like bad decisions or, decisions that are not well thought out, irrational decisions, probably. Um, and we can get that through inference by talking about, angry, not thinking clearly, and waiting till you have calmed down. So that would suggest that an ugly is a decision that's made in the heat of the moment without really considering, things carefully. This would be an adjective because it's describing the noun decisions. All right, so now you're going to look at the sentences below and answer the questions for each of these. You can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So after the earthquake, it took almost 2 years and millions of dollars to ugly all the buildings that had been damaged. So here, ugly probably means to repair or rebuild. The part of speech would be a verb, and um, the the example it would be this would just be content, or I think inference, because earthquake um, and 2 years, millions of dollars, and damage. So from all of that information, we can make the inference that ugly is to repair. Could also be antonym because it's the opposite of damaged. The holiday season was a busy period for the store, and the manager thanked all her Uggies for their hard work. Here, Uggies is most likely employees, which would be a noun because it's people. People, places, and things are nouns. And here again, I think it would be inference because um, holiday season, busy period, and the manager thanking people. So the people most likely to be helping out in the busy holiday period would have been employees. Okay, Raul is really ugly. He always thinks that he is the best at everything. He loves to tell everyone again and again about all his successes. Um, Here, ugly probably means like overconfident or conceited, narcissistic. Um, the part of speech would be an adjective because, again, we have a to be verb. So, ugly is describing the subject, Raul. And this would be example, always thinking that he's the best at everything, telling people he's successful, suggests that he's kind of a proud, arrogant, conceited person. Nadia works as a doctor, and the thing she likes most about her job is being able to ugly people who are unwell. Here, ugly probably means to cure or to help. It would be a verb because of the infinitive, to ugly, to help. And again, this would probably be inference because, she's a doctor. She enjoys, doing something for people who are unwell. So, the opposite could also be antonym in a way because the opposite of unwell would be, to be cured or to be made healthy. So we can get that meaning there. During the summer vacation, I really want to Uggy. I'd love to visit Peru or possibly Bolivia. Here, Uggy probably means to travel. Um, Again, this would be an infinitive verb, so used as a direct object. So um, it would be, what the person wants to do, but because it's has the to before it, it's an infinitive used as a direct object. And we get that through inference because of summer vacation and also the word visit, which suggests that the person is going to travel to these places during the vacation time. And I have three different Uggies this afternoon. First, I have math, then science, and finally, I have English. Here, Uggy could be classes, probably school classes or subjects, um, and that would be a noun. Um, and here it's using examples. So math, science, English are all examples of classes or school subjects, and that's how we can work out the meaning of the word Uggies in this context. All right, so here's some questions to think about. Why is it useful to make logical guesses about meaning and context? And what are some situations where guessing from context is the only option for understanding unknown words? Well, one reason it's useful, I think, is that to stop and look up every word that you don't know in the dictionary is very time consuming and may interrupt your understanding of what it is you're reading if you're stopping constantly to look up the word. Uh, However, just skipping over it, just ignoring it, may cause you to be confused about what's being said in the text later on. Some situations where guessing is the only option, possibly in an exam situation where you don't have access to a dictionary, you can't ask someone else, and so you just have to make your best guess. All right, so putting it all together. So you're going to read the first part of the text about healthy eating and then guess the meanings of the words in bold and tell how you arrived at those meanings. So you can pause the video here and try this on your own, or you can follow along as I read and then restart the video when you're ready to hear the answers. Healthy eating. Healthy eating is essential for maintaining a healthy body and mind. It involves choosing a variety of foods that provide the necessary nutrients, substances that help our bodies grow, develop, and function properly. Firstly, fruits and vegetables are important parts of a diet. They are laden with vitamins and minerals, which are special kinds of nutrients that protect our bodies from illnesses. Eating a colorful array of fruits and vegetables ensures that we get a diverse range of these protective substances. Proteins are another vital part of our diet. Foods like meat, beans, and nuts contain proteins that are fundamental to building and repairing our muscles. Without these proteins, our bodies cannot stay strong and healthy. All right, so nutrients, this one is given by definition. So we have the dash and the definition of nutrients, substances that help our bodies grow, develop, and function properly. Um, Vitamins and minerals, this is by example. So vitamin and minerals are special kinds of nutrients that protect our bodies from illnesses. Diverse means different or a large range of different types of substances, and you can get that meaning or by colorful array. Array means, a wide range of things. And so from that, you can kind of work out that diverse just means a lot of variety. And fundamental, again, you can kind of infer that because it talks about building and repairing our muscles. And then without these proteins, our bodies cannot stay strong and healthy. So fundamental might be important or, the basis for maintaining health and strength. All right, you can continue with the second part of the text. And again, you can pause the video, read on your own, or follow along as I read, and then work out the meanings of the words in bold and explain how you arrived at that meaning. Okay, carbohydrates are energy-providing nutrients found in foods like bread, rice, and pasta. They give us the stamina or endurance to carry out daily activities without getting tired. Well, here we're using the synonym. So endurance is the synonym for stamina. They have roughly the same meaning. It's beneficial to choose whole grain options because they provide sustained energy and help us feel full longer. Fats are also necessary, though they should be consumed in moderation. Healthy fats, such as those found in olive oil and fish, are salubrious or good for our health. So here again, the example or definition, we know that salubrious means good for our health. They help us in absorbing vitamins and keep our skin and hair healthy. Finally, drinking water is imperative for staying hydrated. Well, if we know that hydration is really important because dehydration can make us feel very sick, so from that we can infer that imperative means very important. Water facilitates many important processes in the body. Without processes, these without water, these processes cannot work properly. So here, facilitates would mean help something to happen, because we have the opposite here. If we don't have water, then these things don't work properly. So water is important, or you know, a way to get things to work properly. So kind of using maybe an antonym a little bit there. By understanding these components of a healthy diet, individuals can make informed choices about what they eat. This can lead to a healthier lifestyle and better overall health. All right, so think about what we've covered in this lesson, and you can answer these questions on your own. So, what does it mean to guess meaning from context? What are some different ways to guess meaning from context? And why is it useful to be able to guess meaning from context? And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.